We can go up there and then maybe go back down and go that way.
I panicked.
Okay.
I lost my composure.
You're like, oh no, what do I do?
For a second, sorry about that.
So my thing with Black Ops 3, I feel like why I love them so much is I felt like every map was unique. Mm-hmm. Like you played in like a safari map or whatever it was.
Oh, and remember the swimming where some of those maps had swimming and stuff?
Yeah,
that was really
great.
cool in Black Ops 3.
It was fun. And then the gameplay was just like mediocre.
It was as the kids would say now, dog water.
It was.
I hate that term.
I do too. But yeah, I don't know. The map design had been going downhill. I will say I got the new Modern Warfare 2 though.
Yeah.
And I have been playing that. Kind of going against popular belief here. I actually really loved Cold War, the multiplayer.
Oh, I did too.
I thought it was great.
I did too. I think that again, it's one of those things where I'm less likely to play it much because I know the game experience will just die and be dead. And did you know combat training and like custom maps or custom combat and stuff against AI only works on certain maps?
Yep, I did know that.
It doesn't even work on all of them.
That's kind of stupid.
I knew someone who worked at Activision, and I used to be told certain things before they happened that I never reported on because, like, it would be... Well, I wouldn't really be in trouble. This person would have been breaching NDA, probably.
Right.
But one of the things that they talked about was that a lot of the development on that game was very haphazard.
Cold War?
Yes.
Okay.
And that things were cut during development that were supposed to be there from the start.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, for example, the idea was to have, like, all of the maps pretty much have combat training and stuff, but some of it wouldn't even work. Or another idea was, I'm trying to remember what it was. It was like to have...
Wasn't there something with zombies?
Bots for zombies.
Okay, yeah.
But that was cut in development because they couldn't get it to work.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Like, those elements were supposed to be in the game. This is what this person said. And they did actually work there. But, like, without getting into specifics of that or anything that can't be talked about, I know there's a ladder there. Because I think the NDA, it applies, like, up to 1 year after the project is out or something like that, or 1 year after you quit working there.
Yeah.
It's something kind of crazy like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think mainly because they just don't want to look bad.
Right.
So, like, they want to get all their sales from the game before anyone says anything bad about the game, which is pretty disingenuous. Like, yeah, the NDA shit is just dumb in general. I get it, like, in terms of, like, while you're working on the game.
But once the game's out, it should be fair game.
And you should be able to stand by the product you made, and if you were fucking dumb enough to cut corners and features that should have been in the game, that's on you, right?
Right, you'd think so.
At least that's my opinion, I don't know. But not according to Activision and all these other companies. The employee should be grateful.
Right.
That's the funniest thing to me is like, you should be grateful for this opportunity to work here and blah blah blah. It's like, really, I should be grateful to work in a shitty company.
You should make a good product.
You should be grateful I'm willing to work here too. Like, how about that?
Right. Also, I like this guy's sword, by the way.
It is cool.
But yeah, I don't know. It's like if you made a good product, I'd be really grateful I worked there.
Yeah, and no one would have anything to complain about.
Right. Jeez.
Oh,
okay. But yeah, anyways, like, I really like Cold War's multiplayer. I actually had a lot of fun on it. I'm having probably the same amount of fun, if not more fun, with Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer. Like, it's actually really fun. Like, I'm having a good time.
Did they add Warzone in yet?
No, they did not.
What have they said about that?
I have not really read a lot about that yet, so I don't know. Oh, hey, we got a trophy.
Mariah's Executioner's Sword.
Defeated Elmer the Briar. Okay.
Well, we need to do that anyway.
All right, I like that picture in the back.
And you had no idea there was a boss here.
No, I would have just sent us along.
Could this be a god? Interesting. Do you want to read the...
Yeah, let's read the text on it.
This one.
Okay.
Storied sword of House Marias, the family of executioners who presided over the Shaded Castle. One of the legendary armaments, Elmer of the Briar, the bell-bearing hunter, snatched the sword from the site of his looming execution and furnished it with battle skills from his home of Eochade.
Eochad.
Yeah, it's interesting. Then we need shields. There we go.
This one's like Briar Shield, isn't it?
I think it's this
Yeah,
one.
Briar Grey Shield.
Great shield from a foreign land used by Elmer of the Briar. Attacks with this armament utilize the iron thorns that have been wound around its frame. Originates from Eochad, a land of proudly solitary atheists.
Epic.
Cool. They're probably on Reddit, like, talking about, like, oh, I hate religion so much. Oh, I define myself by my hate of religion. That's the funniest thing to me about, like, the atheism Reddit or, like, the, like, these atheism groups, is they're like, man, I can't believe all these fucking losers who define themselves by these fairy tales. I define myself by not believing in and hating the fairy tale.
Right.
So
And-
it's the same, or it's different.
And they spend like all day just hating on religion.
And like, it's like their fucking job, and they're like on the Reddit or like on Twitter, like whining about like how angry they
Yeah.
are about like some guy who said something at some random point.
Well, you know, and the part that pisses me off too is then they're like, well, I just hate all religion. But then they would never dare like bash Muslims or something.
I respect the hell out of anyone who's willing to criticize Islam.
I am too.
Because almost always people are such big pussies because here's what they know. Now, not all Islamic people are, like, you know, violent.
Right.
Obviously. But what they know is this. You are more likely to get a death threat, like those cartoonists did for depicting...
South Park people?
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
well, they did, but there was also, like, another famous guy who had to go into hiding.
Oh, really? I didn't hear about that part.
Yeah, who, like, made fun of Muhammad or something.
Oh, okay.
And Allah. And it's like, so when was the last time that happened with Christianity? Where people had to go into hiding
Right.
because someone put an organized religious bounty on their head to kill them in the name of God.
Right.
I'm sure it has happened.
Probably.
But just show me how often it has happened in the last 300 years.
When was it happen? Like the Salem witch trials?
Yeah, exactly. And then people are like, I don't know, I'm going to get in trouble here if I go too far down this road. But basically, I find it very amusing that people are willing to criticize the religion they know won't do jack shit to them.
Right.
But they're not willing to, because they're so big of a fucking, like, pushover, and they're so scared that they're not willing to criticize any other religions that would have physical or whatever kind of pushback you want to call it to their stance.
Right.
It's because they're scared of them.
Right. And by the way, I think we should clarify that before everyone gets mad at you, you actually don't care if people are atheists.
No.
It just, you hate the people that are like obsessed with it and like they're kind of pussies about it.
I actually think people who are atheists have some pretty valid reasons to be.
Yeah, a lot of them do.
It's pretty... In a world where people are, like, raped, murdered, children are sold into slavery, wars happen over nothing, and God is nowhere to be seen for a lot of people, and they just say, like, why is all this happening?
Yeah.
I don't understand this.
Right.
Or even the people who say, like, look, I need proof of stuff.
Yeah.
Those are valid criticisms of religion and reasons to not believe.
Right.
If that's how you feel. You know, like, that's really what it comes down
sure.
to, though. But then, like, don't hate on people who don't feel that way. That's kind of my problem with it. Now, if you want to call out hypocrisy, like someone just being an asshole, like they say, like, oh, I love God, but then, like, they're, like, beating their children or something. Yeah,
Right.
okay, I'm right there in line with you. But I think the reason that I get annoyed with atheists as, like, a group is it's like body positivity. Why are you in a community about being fat?
Right.
I'm fat, okay?
Okay.
Look, I'm fat. I'm just saying. But, like, it's like, I define myself by my lipids. Why?
Right.
Like, what's the point? Why are you in a community about not believing in, as you call it, a fairy tale?
Right.
Like, I'm not in, like, a book club about how much I hate Aesop's fables.
Right.
I don't really like them. I think they're boring. I think the messages found in most of them, other than maybe the tortoise and the hare,
Yeah.
can be found better elsewhere.
Right.
But you know what I don't do? Spend all day on Reddit complaining about Aesop's fables because I have a job. And
Right.
things that I do.
Right.
And people who I care about. And I'm not miserable. I basically just don't like miserable people in communities about being miserable and making other people miserable.
Well, yeah, that's my big beef with miserable people is then because they're so upset in life, they feel like everyone else needs to be upset.
Where should I take this prosthesis?
Bring it back to Miriam. Or Millicent, I mean.
Okay.
Not Miriam.
Miriam.
Take it back to Millicent.
Can you take that back to Mary, the mother of Jesus, please? Oh, sorry, I don't believe she ever
I think
existed.
she's up there. And I'm gonna make your life miserable forever thinking she did.
You see what I mean? Like, it's just bizarre to me. Like,
I know.
It's the same thing, by the way, it's the same thing with Christians who will, like, go outside, like, an abortion clinic with, like, signs.
Right.
Just stop. You're not doing anything.
Right. Like, do you think anyone's gonna go in there and be like, well, wait a minute, actually.
I saw a sign.
I'm gonna leave.
Or, like, the Christians who tell people, you're gonna go to hell. You really think you're doing anything?
Yeah, I know.
Except for being the opposite of what your religion tells you to be. I basically just don't like angry hypocrites who
Right.
need to make the world miserable.
She's passed into the...
Here we go. Give the Valkyries
Are you
prostheses.
giving me this arm? Thank you. I am in your debt yet again, I think. If the arm serves well enough, it might be possible for me to wield a sword again.
Can she just wield sword in her left hand?
If the arm serves... It might be perhaps then...
Okay, so now...
She said she can aid me in battle.
If the arm... It might be possible...
I wonder if she's gonna... to fight with us. So now... I'm just thinking off the top of my head here. We need to go to the northeast region of Altus Plateau to find...
Oh, okay, yeah.
to find the Windmill Village.
The Windmill Village. So we don't need to talk to her anymore.
Supposedly no.
Okay. Atlas Plateau, Windmill Village.
It's in the northeast.
Never eat soggy waffles.
It's,
Sorry, I had to think about it.
is there a part... Oh, wait a minute. Where's... Oh, I think it's... Oh, I think it's up more. I don't think we've discovered it yet.
Road of Iniquity?
No, I think it's over to the right.
Is it this?
I think it's, like, right in here.
Okay.
Like, right up there.
Do you want to do this Gold Mask guy's quest later, maybe?
Sure.
I just found that he's still here, and I don't remember what we were doing with that.
Yeah, we can do that.
So I have way too many markers up, so where are the other ones?
There's one up at the castle we were just at.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
And then there should be one somewhere.
There's supposed to be a way to remove them.
No, it just removes those stupid ones.
Oh.
I feel like we discovered a way.
One of them's over here somewhere. Was it? No.
Oh, wait, up. Right. Up on top of that lake.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for saving me from the atheist community.
Yeah, I know. I was just trying to, because I know they would, like, send out death threats.
I just don't like communities.
I don't either.
Like,
They're usually kind of angry and
Projecty.
really into their product for... Like, I'm talking it in an unhealthy way.
Well, have you noticed that, like, a lot of, like, these communities and stuff, they will just make their entire life about whatever the thing is.
Yeah.
Which is my same problem with organized religion sometimes, and it's my same problem with, like, the body positivity community, and it's my same problem with the LGBTQ community, and, like, look, you're more than this thing. Whatever it is, I don't care what it is. You're more than whatever this thing is.
Right.
So, like, when people just talk to someone, like, there's healthy ways to do it. Like going on the Dark Souls subreddit and being like, hey guys, I love Dark Souls. You want to talk about it? Yeah, what do you like about it? Blah, 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 blah. Oh, cool. I like the part where I banged the Emerald Maiden as well.
Right.
Me too, even though she was part dragon or something. Really? I don't care. I'm a furry. You know, that whole thing that I assume people say.
That a lot of people say. Yeah.
Not me, though, of course.
Right, but the community.
But the community, yeah, of course. Like that kind of stuff. Friendly, cordial conversation or debate. Like, oh, I don't like this movie. Well, what don't you like about it? I don't like this. Okay, cool. I like this. Okay, cool.
Right.
These kinds of things,
That's okay.
They're healthy ways to engage with a community. But people aren't willing to do that usually. They're just, like, angry. They, like, threaten people. They get in their face. They play favorites. They play know-it-all.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, oh, I know everything, and, like, you know nothing, and I'm a real fan, and you're a nobody. Eek, I hear a festive melody. No, don't skin me.
Jeez. Yeah, that's like the Star Wars community. What is this? What are these, like, dead Swedish women?
I don't know.
I feel like they're dancing at, like, their midsummer, like, festival.
There is a... Oh.
This is really creepy.
Speaking of Midsummer, did you ever see that movie?
No, and I never want to.
Oh, jeez.
I never want to watch that movie.
Did it look scary?
It looked really...
Or just fucked up?
It looked... Yeah, that one.
Yeah, it was.
It looked like a movie that just would disturb me. You know, I like horror movies, some. But if a movie's just gonna be disturbing... Oh, jeez! If a movie's just gonna be disturbing and, like, just kind of haunt me for the rest of my life, I'm not interested.
Yep, I totally get it.
And here's an example of a movie I will never watch. You could pay me any amount of money and I'll never watch this.
Is it Hereditary?
No. Human Centipede.
Oh, that's not even horror, though. That's just being gross.
Whatever it is, whatever genre it is,
no,
I will never watch it.
It counts as horror, but, like, I don't think
it's just
does.
disgusting.
Right.
I will never watch that movie because it's gross.
Okay, why'd I sit down?
And I honestly feel like that would just disturb me for my entire life.
It would.
It's not even worth it to me.
No. I mean, I'm just not into horror movies that are obsessed with making me feel bad or feel scared.
Right.
Or, I'm sorry, not scared.
I was going to say, like, the scared
out.
part's fine.
Grossed out, sorry. That's
yeah, because that's the thing, and that's my problem with... I don't know, because I don't know if there's any good Saw movies. I'm sure there are.
The first one.
But that's my problem with a lot of Saw movies, I feel like the Saw franchise would just make me grossed out. And I'm like, well, I don't really know if I want to watch this.
No.
I'm sure the original probably is good, but it's... Everything after that is just like, I'm good.
And I mean, to be fair, you don't need to watch the original, but I do think it's a good movie. I think it's well done. I think it's well made. I think that it's not really that gross at all.
Yeah.
I think it's just a good horror movie. But after that...
And maybe I would watch it at some point.
It's just not...
But the franchise just has always seemed to me as if it's just gross on purpose.
It is. It genuinely... Especially 2 onward. But I think 1, 2, and 3 are probably the least like that.
Okay.
And then they decided to go... like all in and that be their thing, like,
and that's just not interesting to me.
No, it's also, to me, it's not scary, it's just gross. So, like, I could watch, so, like, would you say that surgery videos are scary? Because I'd say they're not scary.
They're not scary.
They're just disturbing and I was gonna say icky.
Well, they kind of are, actually.
But really gross.
Yeah.
And, like, upsetting because you're like, this is inhuman.
Well, yeah, and it just makes me unsettled.
And to me, unsettled is not the same as horror.
No, like, unsettled is just, like... It's the type of thing where, like, you lay awake at night and you can't fall asleep because your mind is just thinking about this, and you're just kind of like, oh! And you just can't stop thinking about it, and it just is disturbing to you.
Yep.
It's not scary. Like, I'm not like, oh my gosh! It's more just like, I didn't want to see this.
Right.
It's the same thing with, like, Misery and, like, his ankles being broken. It's like, this isn't scary, this is just gross.
Right.
Like, I don't want to see this. It's just gross. Like,
yeah.
Like, I don't know.
I completely agree. I think gross is different than horror.
Yeah.
I've never seen the two as the same. And people say, well, it's body horror. It's like, yeah, but things like that are like, what is it? Was it called Tusk?
I don't know.
The movie where the guy is like surgically turned into a walrus.
Ew.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm good.
It's just disgusting.
I'm good on that.
And horrible. And I don't understand why people would want to watch it. Like, I guess I just don't see the appeal.
Well, you know, and it kind of begs the question for me, like, for example, Human Centipede. If someone is finding that movie, like, a good movie to watch, and like, wow, that was so entertaining, and to me, I'm like, what's your psyche level like?
Yeah.
Like, should we be putting you in a mental hospital? Like, why are you entertained by this?
It does. It becomes very slippery, slopey, because, yes, I'm not going to advocate that it shouldn't be made, and I'm not going to advocate, like, that. Well, okay, actually, I take that back. I would advocate it shouldn't be made, but I'm not going to take away your right to make it.
Right.
Like, I'd say you're just a fucked individual if you want to make that.
Right, like, you're approaching serial kill, like, Ed Gein level of...
Weird.
Yeah.
But you have the right to make it.
Right.
As an artist, or whatever. But, like, I don't get why people want to watch it. I don't get it at all. And some people say, like, well, then it's just not for you. But, yeah, but it's different than, like, I don't really care to watch cricket.
I honestly don't know what that is.
A sport.
Oh, okay, cricket, the sport.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking like a horror movie.
No, I'm just saying, like,
Right.
you know, the sport cricket.
Yeah.
I don't care to watch it, right?
Right.
Not for me. And that's an example of, well, that's just not for me. But when we're getting into, like, just disgusting levels of gore and just sick shit, and you're like, I get a kick out of this. Even if you're not hurting anyone, because I don't agree with the argument of, like, video games cause violence or movies cause violence. I'm sure you can watch that kind of stuff and not go on to be, like, a psycho killer.
Right.
Obviously. Because people do, and then they don't go on to do that.
Right.
But why do you want to? I guess that's my question. Like, what are you getting out of it? Why is this entertaining to you?
Right.
And not something more thoughtful? Like, I don't know. I'm sure it could very quickly become, well, you should like what I like, but it's not really about that. It's about, why do you want to see this?
Well, there's a... Oh, hey, the Godskin Apostle? There is a difference to me between something gross like Human Centipede and something gross like... trying to think of another gross example.
Halloween?
Well...
Like, how about Halloween Kills?
I was thinking Halloween, but my mind went blank. There's a disgusting part in Kills that I just told you about earlier.
Well, it wasn't the tongue part from Ends, which I don't want to talk too much about.
Disgusting about. Okay, anyways, my mind is blank randomly, even though I just watched this movie like 2 days ago. But I remember there are kind of disturbing parts in Halloween Kills that kind of make you go like, oh.
Yep.
There's a difference between that and the Human Centipede to me. Because the one in Halloween Kills just don't make me feel unsettled as a human being. Like, I need to purge my eyeballs from what I just saw.
Right.
It kind of makes you go, oh, that's a little gross.
Yep.
And then you move on with your day.
Yep. I
Whereas
agree.
something like Human Centipede, it disturbs you. Like, I feel like it literally ruins your life because you're like, you think about it and it just like kills your mind.
Yeah, and
So,
I do think that there's some stuff that human beings... Now, if you want to see it, that's your choice.
sure.
But I do think there are some things that human beings weren't really meant to see.
No.
Like, our brains don't fully understand them. And I just don't see why you'd subject yourself to them. Oh, here she is.
Yeah.
I just don't get it. I don't get how that's fun.
I don't
for you.
either.
We meet yet again. The arm you gave me truly is a thing of wonder. It feels just like my own. Even handling a sword. Perhaps it is foolish to say this to you of all people, but I am sure of my skill with the sword. Thus, I would have you call upon me in battle, should you ever have the need. I would have you call upon me in battle, should you ever have the need. It is the only way that I can express my thanks.
I can think of other ways to express your thanks.
I can too. I still think she's pretty.
I like her arm.
Me too. She's really neat.
So do we have... So we exhausted her dialogue?
I
Yeah.
would have you call it is the only
Okay.
Yeah, is there a way to summon her in a boss fight or something?
I think there is
Or did we already
eventually. I
waste
think
that?
there is eventually.
Okay. Can I say, by the way, before we move on, From Software does such a good job of writing side characters in general, but also girls.
Yeah.
Because, like, I think you and I were talking about this, and a problem I have in a lot of fiction is they'll write girls and they'll just be, like, an idiot or really boring.
Right.
And like, off the top of my head, some of the strongest characters in this game are people like Ronnie.
Right.
You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, From Software does a great job with that.
Ow, shit. Ow, I hit my
See your
arm on the
funny
chair.
bone?
Yep.
Okay.
Let's cut ahead to where we go next.
Okay.